STICKERMANIA from Louisville, Kentucky. Got Sticker Teenager with me today, or Sticker Bride or Sticker Teenager.
I don't care.
How's it going out there? Close to 70 degrees today. It's pretty nice when I slow jogged to the store and back to the grocery store. What's going on out there with you today?
John H. said, "Good evening, Sticker family."
How you doing, John H.? John H. is interested in this Monkeys 1995 media promo kit I got from Uncle Paul. From Rhino. It's got 3 glossy photos in it. Some monkey stickers and postcards. And a lot of literature.
T-Shirt Express says, "Good evening, everybody."
How you doing, Paulie?
And then Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse says, "Good evening, Sticker friends."
Uncle Paul was in the media business for a long time. That's how he got a hold of this Monkeys kit from 1995 from Rhino. It's in beautiful shape. It's $100 there, John, if you want it shipped. Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. Got to check out. I think Uncle Paul's got a brand new video out he put up last week. Am I correct? Tell me what it's about.
Uncle Paul said, "Yes." Thank you, Frank. Yes, 40 years. A Little Beatles Corner said, "Hello, everybody."
How are you doing, Patricia? Little Beatles Corner is in the house.
And then Polly said, "Hi, all."
How you doing, Polly? We did get your rubber sole crate from Mikey Arugula out in the mail when we got back. You should have it by now, I think.
Uncle Paul said, "Thank you, Frank. It's trash to treasure, too."
Trash to Treasure 2. Check it out on Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. And subscribe to him if you're not. And subscribe to Patricia from Little Beatles Corner. So the big news is that Abbey Road on the River, local news for me, is going to be May 21st to the 25th at the 4-Station Park in Jeffersonville, Indiana. That's right across the river, about 10 miles from me. And they booked, Mickey Dolenz is going to do a tour of the United States, and he's going to be here on that weekend. They also booked Peter Noon from Herman Hermits and the Calseals. Pretty good. They've never had 3 big acts all in the same year.
Polly said, "Thank you. Maybe it'll come on Monday," talking about the rubber sole.
Yeah, the mail doesn't get
They
there
were
right on
closed
time.
on Tuesday for Veterans Day. And
I had something in the Louisville yesterday, and instead of getting it delivered today, it went to Detroit, Michigan today.
And then Thomas Crook said, "Hello, everyone." John H. said he'll take the Monkeys, Frank.
All right.
Little Beatles Corner said, "Thank you for including my channel as well," so she appreciates that. And then Daniel asked, thoughts on the Michael Jackson movie trailer.
I have not seen the Michael Jackson movie
You
trailer.
haven't seen it yet. It looks alright. I mean, we'll see how it comes out.
The big thing today was, for me, was In My Life Take 1. That was on YouTube on the Beatles channel. Wow. Did you guys check out Take 1 of In My Life? That pretty much proves the point. The Beatles could record magic fast. I don't know if they did a lot of rehearsals for that Take 1, but it's pretty good. But it's missing the speeded up piano part by George Martin. But other than that, it's pretty good. And John Lennon, right before they start the song, he says, "This Fender is so heavy."
Daniel asked Take One will be included in the anthology disc, question mark?
Yeah, he's on Anthology 4.
And then Polly said Take One is great. And then, Uncle Paul said, yes, Take One in my life sounds great.
That makes Anthology 4 almost worth it all by itself. And we haven't even heard the other takes of the 13 unreleased takes, all of their 12, because they've already, we've seen the You Won't See Me. But the coming out the 21st, next Friday, there's been quite a few YouTube influencers that have already got it. Skylar Moody did a video on it today. Who else has done a video on it? Caitlin Larkin from the Beatles channel did a video on it. And Mitch Axelrod has done a Reddit or Facebook post about the anthology box set, and he says, all you haters out there, you need to listen to a lot of it's remixed and remastered and tinkered with, and he says give it a listen. He's already listened to it. He says it's pretty amazing, all 4 volumes.
Daniel Castillo said, kind of pointless. I'm sure most won't bother giving those anthology discs another listen after the first time gets repetitive.
That's true. I listen to it in the car a lot on CD. Rob Leonard is also in Fab Free for All, and we met him at last week at the Everything Fab 4 Fest celebrates Rubber Soul. We talked to Mitch. Well, we talked to Rob I talked to him for about 10 minutes, but I think Mikey talked to him for about a half hour. Paul McCartney did a concert last night in Buffalo, New York, and Monday he's going to be in Montreal. I didn't know that they could tear down and set up that quick. That's from Friday to Monday. That's pretty quick.
Uncle Paul said, that's great, Frank. You and I still playing CDs in the car.
Yeah, I don't play CDs at home. I listen to my 70s UK or Germany pressings is pretty much my focus now. And I was big on new music because of Chapel Roan, but that auto-tune, even when we came home, my son put Beatles, what'd you pull up on YouTube, Beatles?
Yeah, the YouTube, it was just a bunch of random,
and they just sounded auto-tuned. They didn't sound natural to me. Hand me that Chapel Roan album real quick. I'll get Chapel Roan album. Thanks, Sticker Kid.
Go home.
Chapel Roan's album is back in the top 30 in England, and Pink Pony Club is moving up the charts again. In England, Pink Pony Club is at 35. It's been on the English charts on the Billboard charts in the top 100 for 83 weeks.
Uncle Paul said, give Olivia Dean a chance on Saturday Night Live. She's very good.
I will. All right, can you put that back?
And Johnny Ramon's asking about the vinyl mono box, but I'm sure you're going to get to it here shortly.
Yeah, the rest of my notes. In England, Sabrina Carpenter, one of Uncle Paul's favorites, is number 5 on the charts. And Wings' greatest hits, be careful with those dudes, is number 12. And something that happened on YouTube earlier today, I watched Steve Westman's audiophile live stream, and Steve Westman was talking about the Beatles and mono box set, the 2025, and he said that he thought 10,000 of them were pressed, and I said 5,000, and he doubted my comment. And then Tim from University of Vinyl stuck up for me and says, Mr. Stickermania, he knows a lot about the Beatles. So I got that 5,000 figure from my buddy Dave here in Louisville. Him and a few other guys did a lot of research. on the White Albums that are listed on the internet by this number here. And he said that 35,000 of them were made in 2014, and by the numbers, they only made 5,000 this year, and that's why it sold out in one day. The number on this one is 9023542, 23,000.
Dan Goldstein said, "Hi, Sticker family. We are currently driving up to Montreal for Paul's concert. I will send you pictures Monday and Tuesday night."
All right. Have a good time there, Danny.
And then Johnny Ramone, 5 McCartney concerts left on last leg.
And Chicago is the last one, I think, twice in Chicago.
And then Paul not allowed to be a die. Paul should not be allowed to die guy. Just got here, Frank. I hate auto-tune. And I was so crushed to hear that they did it to Paul's vocals on the long and windy road on Let It Be Naked.
Yep, that's when it blew wide open for me, thanks to Wings of Pegasus over there in England. He alerted everybody about the Let It Be Naked, and then ever since then, my ears hear the original with all the emotion and then the new auto-tune, and it's just not there anymore. So I'm really getting to the point where I won't listen to any of the new remastered stuff. I'll give the anthology a listen. I have that coming in next Friday. But as far as pressings, me searching out, my focus is all 1970s United Kingdom and Germany pressings. Rubber Soul, that's the one I've shown before.
He said, "I love all the imperfections," and that's what you agree with.
Yeah, the warts and all. You want to hear the true emotion in a voice. So that's my Rubber Soul early 1966 with the hype sticker for Michelle. Hear Paul sing Michelle, the original Beatles version. And the reason they're saying that, I found my David and Jonathan album where Michelle was released at the same time and got on the charts. So they say if you want to really hear the original version, you got to buy Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul, in my opinion, would have been #1 in England in the United States if it would have been released as a single.
North Carolina Vinyl Picker.
How you doing, Arthur? How you doing, Arthur?
And then John H. said he sent the payment for the monkeys. We got it. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, so we'll take the Mono box set off the table. I guess you wanted me to talk about a little bit more. This is a 2014 one, the original 35,000. Got the 2014 date there on the bottom. And it's all the albums are sealed inside. I'm not going to open it up right now, but none of the resealable bags have been opened. So the whole thing and then is sealed inside, and the Beatles in mono book is completely sealed. Give me those silica packs right there. And these are in there with the foam to protect it, just the way it was issued.
Mazzy's #1 fave is the Capitol Rubber Soul.
Mazzy's in there?
No, that's what Johnny Ramone said. My boss should have said that. That's what he said. That was Mazzy's favorite.
It's Rubber Soul USA.
Are you done? Or are you gonna be happy?
You want to take a break and come back towards the end?
Too early.
Huh? Go get it. Yeah, you can. You can leave. Thank you.
You should be in. Yeah.
Thanks for the help there, Sticker Kid. All right, a few other notes, and I got a couple other things on the table here. Australia, we talked about the Billboard magazines that the Beatles were on the charts. Sold 60% of the records in the United States for the first few months from February to May. In Australia, they sold more than that. In Australia, on the Billboard charts, they were #1 from all the way from January, first week of January, all the way to June, the middle of June. So Jerry, at the beginning of the year, or the end of the year, 63, Jerry and the Pacemakers was number one with How Do You Do It. And then the Beatles, the first week of January, they were already number one in Australia with I Want to Hold Your Hand, which was number one for 7 weeks in a row. I saw her standing there with, was the next single released, and it was number one for 7 weeks, where in the United States, I saw her standing there was the B-side. Then they released Roll Over Beethoven, another 2 weeks, number one. Then the Beatles' All My Lovin' extended play, 7-inch was released, and it went to number one for 3 weeks. And finally, Can't Buy Me Love was number one for 5 weeks up to the first week of June. And then Mary Wells with My Guy went to number one. And then Can't Buy Me Love went back to number one. So the Beatles were number one for 6 months in a row in Australia. That's pretty amazing.
In 2014, I bought the mono Please Please Me on its own, and I wish I had gotten the standalone mono white album, but I did buy the mono white album CD for my best buddy.
Who's that?
Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die.
All right. I had the Beatles mono original 68. It was 10,000 number in excellent condition. And one of my regulars bought that, females bought that for a lot of money.
Arthur Mustache, greetings Frank, received the second state butcher today, arrived safely. T, thank you, I appreciate it.
Arthur Mustache?
Yep.
We met Arthur Mustache, we met him at the Everything Fab Four Fest, celebrates Rubber Soul in Asbury Park, New Jersey at the Berkeley Oceanfront Hotel. How's it going there, Arthur? Glad you're happy with the Second State West Coast Butcher cover. Let's see. I talked about how Tim stuck up for me today. Thanks a lot, Tim, from University of Vinyl. And a couple other notes. Mikey Arugula is out to supper tonight with some friends, so he won't be in the chat. We'll have a Rolling Stones and a Led Zeppelin section here in a second. Have you checked out the 4-year-old Angelica singing Hey Jude on, she must be on Instagram or something. She does a 4-minute version of Hey Jude. It's amazing how a 4-year-old can sing that song so well. The Beatles, I think, are safe with the young generation. Maybe not that many of them, but there are always going to be the youngsters that are going to discover the Beatles.
Uncle Paul said, so Frank, did you enjoy seeing Jersey Shores in the Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah. We accidentally went the wrong way and we ended up in Atlantic City first. Yeah, and is that close to where they filmed the Jersey Shore? That's what I thought it was. The Beatles store postponed my Shea Stadium black t-shirt for 4 times. And they kept asking me if I still wanted it or if I wanted to cancel it. And I kept saying, keep the order. And it's finally been shipped. I'll have it next week. My Shea Stadium official black t-shirt from the Beatles store.
Daniel Castillo said they filmed Jersey Shore in Seaside Heights.
Is that part of New Jersey?
I'm not sure. It says it's New Jersey, yeah. Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Couple other things here. I got this in. Somebody is interested in this. One of my eBay regulars, VJ White Label Promo, not for sale, 522, released in May 1963. Some of these have the original hit stamped on there because this was released the same time as From Me to You by Dill Shannon. It's in very good plus condition with some aging to the white label. And it's got the matrices of all the authentic URT and Philadelphia, Mastered Philadelphia. It's in real small dead wax. This is the real deal. And it's got McCartney, Lennon on the credits instead of Lennon, McCartney. And if that buyer is interested, I'd sell that for $300 shipped. Got the original company sleeve.
Yeah, Polly, I got your shirt on. This one I wear proudly around. I keep this one for myself. Very much like it. Thank you.
All right, I have a Rolling Stones minute. They just released the black and blue box set. Everybody's talking about that. I listened to I Love Ladies outtake that's on YouTube today. The weird thing about those outtakes with the Rolling Stones is that Mick Jagger goes in and puts new vocals on the outtake. I don't think he could get away with that if the Beatles did that, but somehow the Rolling Stones get away with that. Keith added some guitars, and Mick Jagger sings some new falsetto on the outtake from 1976. I Love Ladies. Got this Rolling Stones rare picture sleeve. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, but not many of them survive for I Can't Get No Satisfaction in late 1965. That is up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store at $99. And we got to go with that. I got a Rolling Stones cover. Usually the hype sticker would be on the shrink, but this must have been sent to a DJ because the hype sticker is right on the cover. Rare to have that in the United States. Let's see if it's the label. No, it's the second label. It doesn't have the full frequency range recording. Full frequency FFRR. All right, what other thing about Rolling Stones? Rolling Stones, I got a sealed. We're going to do a trivia question on Rolling Stones here in a second. This is a 1980s sealed in the original, what do you call it, burgundy shrink wrap. Once you take that shrink wrap off, the cover would be a different color. Dirty work. Pretty sure this is about mid-1980s. All right, let's do the Rolling Stones trivia now. Three trivia questions. You get these from the Connie Denavi estate. Original photo prints, or prints made from the original negatives. So this one, we'll give these 5 away. There's the Rolling Stones doing their Nanker faces at the airport. First day in America. There they are in the airport that night at the Peppermint Lounge. You can see Brian Jones, Mick Jagger, Charlie Watts dancing with the go-go dancers from the Peppermint Lounge. There they are. They got the same outfits from that day in their hotel, the Astor Hotel in New York. And there they are that night. Murray the K drug them to the radio station to interview them.
Paul should not be allowed to die, guys. Said my friend had a promotion, Keith Richards picture sleeve, a Rolling Stone album with his face on the front.
Yeah, I've had that before. Here's the 3 trivia questions to get these 5 8x8 photos. This is the rarest one. I had about 5 prints made of that. Which member of the Rolling Stones came up with the Nanker face? Who's the first one that came up with the face of pulling your eyes and your nostrils out? Which Rolling Stone member? Number 2 question. What date in 1964 did the Rolling Stones arrive in America for the first time? What date? And number 3, what radio station did Murray the K work at in 1964 when he brought the Beatles to his station and he brought the Rolling Stones? What was the name of his radio station? Have to have all 3 answers in the same message to win.
Tick, tick, tick. You got it.
Do I need to repeat it, or is something always going to come up with it? Got any answers yet?
Not yet.
You got it there. You want me to repeat it once?
Yeah, you can.
Which member of the Rolling Stones originally came up with the Necker face photo? Or the Necker face by pulling your eyebrows and nostrils. Which one of the original Rolling Stones came up with that face? Number 2, what date, exact date, did the Rolling Stones arrive in America for the first time in 1964? And number 3,
What radio station?
what radio station in New York City did Murray the K work at in 1964 when he brought the Beatles to his radio station and he brought the Rolling Stones? What was the name of the radio station?
Paul should not be allowed to die, guys. Said, was Murray K also the 6th stone? Question mark.
He just probably thought he was.
Little Beano's Corner said Keith, June 1st, 1964, and Wind Station.
Oh,
John H. said Brian Jones, June 1st, and Wins.
that's it.
So it's John H. is your winner.
John H. Good job. So, Brian Jones, the first one that came up with the Necker face. And June 1st, 1964, first day in America. And Murray the K, he's right here. He worked at the radio station WINS, WINS. He called it WINS, New York. This goes to John
H. Same
H.
person that bought the monkeys.
So that goes with the monkeys.
Everything goes together.
Good job. That makes it easy. Thanks. I think John H. also bought a Rolling Stones Live from the Vault album from me today on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store. Show me that other one too. If you need to get a hold of me, there's about 30 of you that got a hold of me through my YouTube, Yahoo, Mr_STICKERMANIA at yahoo.com. A few other notes, and I'll talk about Led Zeppelin in a second. Have you guys seen the new all-girl group from the last couple of years called Les Zeppelin? Les Zeppelin. Les, L-E-Z.
Paul should not be allowed to die. I guess I only knew it was Brian because if you mentioned it before. John H. said you can send all of them together to save some posts.
I will. Thanks, John. So I guess they changed the lead singer and the Les Zeppelin group, but the guitarists, the drummers are all pretty good for 4 females doing Led Zeppelin songs. I think that's all my notes, except for I got purchases. A couple things coming in the future, and then I'll show some things. Got a 1964 Canada 7-inch of All My Lovin' and This Boy in excellent condition coming in. I have a revolver. The other one that's worth more with the Hype Sticker revolver mono in the shrink with the Hype Sticker for Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby. And the other big thing I got coming in, I got a BC 13 box set from 1980 in excellent condition coming from New Zealand. It's not coming from New Zealand, but it's a New Zealand box set that's a different like a light blue. It's looks a lot different than the UK pressings. And New Zealand supposedly used the same plates as the United Kingdom. It should be an audiophile pressing. All right, let's show some things. Talked about Can't Buy Me Love, butcher cover moment. Sold my second state butcher covers, so I got my third states left. I'll put the West Coast up on my eBay store tomorrow night. So this is the East Coast that's already up there on eBay. I've sent out offers of $1,900 on that. And I'll put the West Coast up there tomorrow night at with the more realistic colors, probably for $2,444. So
Dr. Rick said hi, Sticker family.
You can see the difference. How you doing, Dr. Rick? Rick's your name, correct? I see you in some of the other Rachel's and some of the other YouTube Beatles or vinyl communities. That's the East Coast, and that is the West Coast. Led Zeppelin is the next thing we talk about. Led Zeppelin 2, I got a very good plus RL that I'm not selling. Presswell pressing. These are really getting tough to find. Nice Led Zeppelin 2s. Show you how pretty clean it is. Side 1, side 2 with a small matrix, small dead wax. Got RL, Robert Ludwig's SS, Sterling Sound on both sides. And the cover, that's the original 1969 Atlantic inner sleeve. And the cover is still in the factory shrink. Almost impossible to get these original Brown Bomber covers in the shrink where the gatefold has never been opened up. Doesn't get much better than that. And we got the Led Zeppelin 3 I showed a few about a month ago in the shrink where the gatefold's never been opened up. And it's got the hype sticker. It's a 4-digit number, 7201 from 1970. And yes, the wheel. There's Jimmy Page, and I can do it too.
John said later, he guess he's getting off, and then Paul should not be allowed to die. Guy said, Frank, you are probably now the butcher cover king of all peelers today.
Yeah, I talked about how the German YouTube Beatles channel is attacking me, saying I'm ruining collectible items by peeling 300 butcher covers. We had a little, what is the word? We agree to disagree. Maybe in Germany, the butcher cover doesn't mean that much to them. The butcher cover print, the original way it was released before it was covered, but us here in the United States, we understand the collectability of the actual butcher cover. That's my opinion. All right, we talked about the 2 Led Zeppelins. Got some Who. Don't know, I don't think I've shown these Who imports. Got to show those 2 train cars from Dave. So this is a UK pressing of the Who from the 80s. I think it's 83. Of Rarities Volume 1. And it's got the Polydor. Got the original inner sleeve from England, made in England. It's got a date of 4/83 down there, which means January, February, March, April of 83.
So Paul should not be allowed to die, guy. Said you were helping to make the second state more rare.
I'm helping, but the Perry Cox agrees with me that a nice peeled butcher cover third state's always going to sell more than a nice second state. There's still people that put up a lot of Beatle albums once a month or every 2 weeks where they have a butcher cover in the lot, a second state, and they're not even aware of it. The Who, Best of the 60s, a German audiophile pressing made from they asked tracks for the original masters. It's an audiophile pressing of the Who's hits from Germany. These are what I focus on now, the Germany and the UK pressing, the 70s and 80s. They seem to have the best equipment and they use the best tapes and they just sound so much better than the USA pressings. What do you think about that? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Don't know if I showed the Who. This is a USA pressing of the Who Sellout. Which song on this album, little trivia question, influenced Paul McCartney to come up with the song Helter Skelter? There's a song on this album that the Who did that came out in '67, influenced Paul McCartney to write Helter Skelter. That's my Who moment. David Bowie.
I Can See for Mike.
That's it. I Can See for Miles.
Polly. It's supposed to be Miles, I guess, but it came out Mike's. Yeah, so that's what Polly said.
David Bowie, Diamond Dogs. What year was David Bowie, Diamond Dogs? 1974. When Paul McCartney and Wings were getting it together so they could do the Wings Over American tour. Took a couple years to get that all ready, and then he was ready to conquer the world.
1974.
1974 Diamond Dogs, and it's got you call those dog tag promotion for David Bowie, Diamond Dogs on Main Man. We should have had Sticker Kid wear that one. I'll leave that out. No,
I thought Paul couldn't remember which song of the Who it was.
I don't know. Everything I've read, it all comes down to I Can See for Miles. I know he did do an interview where he couldn't remember what song, but it had to be that song. It can't be anything else off that album. What do you think? Do you think that's the song that influenced Helter Skelter? That's what I think. All right, train cars. These are the last two train cars I have left from my local man, Dave. I saw all the rest of them. And yes, you can play. These will work on regular HO track. So I got a Hard Day's Night. These are sealed in the package. And this is by Lionel, Something New. The year on it is 2010. And both of these are up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 store where you buy them together. We did the Rolling Stones. We did Beatles for Sale. I can do a Beatles for Sale moment since Mikey's not here to upset. Beatles for Sale. Still my favorite Beatles album if I listen to this -1 tube cut. Talk about true emotion, mistakes, errors, warts, whatever. This has got it all. It's an emotional experience if you play this true analog pressing stereo Beatles for Sale. One time they got the stereo mix right where they didn't do it as well on the Help and the Rubber Soul album, but they got it right somehow. Harry T. Moss got it right on this -1 tube cut. Beatles for Sale.
But he said that Pete said that it was the dirtiest and loudest song ever.
So Pete thinks that's a song.
That's probably what Pete thinks.
Yeah, Pete Townsend from the Who.
Pete Townsend, that's someone Pete, that's one that you're talking about.
Pete Townsend thinks that pretty much proves then that's where he got Helter Skelter from. Danny, I've sure got this pro mailing for Heritage where they're going to have a lot of posters. I know Danny's into posters. Going to have the original Monterey Pop poster and Van Morrison. Looks like they got an Allman Brothers signed album, and they got a Beatles Christmas album that's sealed, and it's graded and slabbed. It's graded at 8.
So Thomas Crick said I was listening to Mr. Moonlight today. Greg Field said, Frank, I agree. Germany optical vinyl pressing. Horzu top of the list. Rolling Stones, Beach Boys, and Magic Mystery Tour tops.
Yep. I don't know what it is. Those late 70s, the Germans had it down where they took pride in making the best audiophile pressings that exist in the world. And this proves it. This 1977 Magical Mystery Tour. I listened to this 3 days ago. Side 1 even gets you on this one. It's not all about Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. You listen to side 1, you never heard Magical Mystery Tour sound like that before. The Fool on the Hill is just magic. Flying, usually don't like this song, but I like it on this pressing. Blue Jay Way, George at his, what do you call it, his psychedelic peak. Your Mother Should Know never sounded so good, and I Am the Walrus kicks ass on this pressing. What else do we have to show? I found these in my storage unit the other day. The stick-ons, probably from the 70s. You put those on your notebook of Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Cheap Thrills by Big Brother and the Holding Company. You know who the lead singer of that was, Janis Joplin.
And Greg's saying you should pick up the Beach Boys and Rolling Stones on that German Horzu.
I will. I've had them both at one time. I've sold them. So this is stick-ons. Originally you got 2 in the sealed package for 49 cents in the early 70s. Let It Be box set. Or book from the box. They made more books than they made box sets. And there were a lot of books left in the early 70s that sold pretty cheap. But they're real fragile and you can't open them much or the pages will come out. Called Get Back. That's the way the Let It Be was supposed to be originally titled, Get Back. This was made before the Let It Be album.
One of the UK EPs with I'll Get You has John sing When I'm Gonna Make You Mine, and Paul sings When I'm Gonna Change Your Mind, and together it sounds like like Manage Your Mind.
Well,
Oh no.
so this is when you sent away when the Disney Channel first came out and they had a Beatles week, and you could send away in their contests. And if you were a winner, you got this envelope, a 23-cent postal tag from Sun Valley, California. I think Greg Field knows where this is. And you got this photo, the Beatles at the beginning, right after Ringo joined the group. Let's see if George has got a black eye. It looks like he's got a little bit. And you got the original little dear prize winner. Congratulations, we're pleased to enclose your prize, a special Beatles print as one of the channel's 8 days a week Beatles sweepstakes, sponsored by the Disney Channel, the Walt Disney Company, Capitol Records, EMI Music, Musicland, and Sam Goody. On behalf of our client, we hope that you will enjoy your prize. Cordially, the Disney Channel. Did I say that fast enough? We talked about the White Album last time. Everybody wants me to sell my promo that I got last week in New Jersey, but I'm holding on to that. Because usually they have DJ writing on these original promos from early 1967.
Uncle Paul said Disney Channel used to run the cartoons as well. And then the Paul should not be allowed to die. I gotta check it out because no auto tune would fix I'll Get You on the UK EP.
I will check it out. What do you guys think about the auto-tune Beatle tracks that you hear on the radio? I think they're pretty bad. Here is All You Need Is Love. One of them's a West Coast. This is an East Coast, and this is a West Coast. You notice that the prints are a little different. This is more vivid colors on the West Coast than the East Coast printing. These are original. How you know you got original? Has to have that little printed in the USA little circle down there. If you don't have that, you don't have a original. And two people today on eBay put up Remco dolls, the whole set, in the boxes, and they say they're original, but they're not. They're reproductions. So be careful on eBay buying something expensive and getting a cheap reproduction box on the Remco. We made it. Where are we at on time?
It is 9:15, so 45 minutes, 46, whatever.
What else do I have to show? Sgt. Pepper. So this is the way that they released the 1987, the HMV CD, when the Sgt. Pepper first came out. It's got a sealed CD there from West Germany. That's an audiophile pressing. And it's also got a little button in there, if I can get it out of there. And a little booklet. It was 20 years ago today, HMV.
Greg Field said Frank, Sun Valley's closed. Disney Studios still in Burbank, closing.
Gotcha.
Hanna-Barbera, also
Thanks.
amazing cartoons.
So, they put this outtake of the Sgt. Pepper cover, and this bootleg has that same picture. This has rehearsal takes of Sgt. Pepper on there. And I'm not sure which country I got this from. I got this in a lot the other day of Beatle albums that I bought. Show you the record. It looks a little strange. Ripping off the Parlophone, but it doesn't say the tracks on there. Oh yeah, it does have the tracks in real small print. So there's lots of times Beatle albums were made and the Beatles did not make any money off of them. And that is one of them. Alright, what else do I have to show? I showed the trains. I got some Japanese pressings. Got any questions? I'm only going to be on here for a few more minutes. Japanese pressings. There's somebody on YouTube that swears that Japanese pressings, maybe they're quiet, but they're not audiophile in my opinion. They don't have the true bass sound in the Japanese pressings. There's a McCartney. There's the oldies but goodies from Japan with the insert. It's got the label with made in Japan on it.
What label is it? What's he talking about? Which label? Which one he talking about? T-shirt.
Collection of oldies, that one is.
And then Paul should not be allowed to. Someday they will release original tapes without auto-tune to embarrass artists who leave a label or production team. Yeah, they'd probably never do that.
And this is the Red Flag series. I think it came out in the 70s, late 70s, of the Beatles' Red Album, 1962 to 66, still sealed. All right, I think that's about all I have to show today. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back on Wednesday. Hopefully I'll have some more new arrivals to show on Wednesday, and it's all about anthology next week. And then we got a couple weeks before the documentary that's going to come out on Disney Plus, and it's going to be re-edited and remastered by Peter Jackson with new unreleased studio footage. Everybody's can't wait until the first day on the 26th. They're going to have 3 episodes. On 27th, they're going to have the next 3 episodes. And on the 28th, they're going to have the last 3 episodes, including episode 9. That's all the Threedles from 1994 and 1995. Thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky. Take care.